that is worthy of even discussion? And I respond, no, you actually read what they say. It's because we are infidels. Their claims of us being on Saudi land as the issue they have brought to the table through death is completely nullified when you translate the rest of Al-Qaeda videos. All that is not Islam must be destroyed. Their words, not mine. I refuse to be destroyed. You can stand by it if you like. And then for some reason I said Chomsky was a cunt. I don't know why I did that. I don't know how it came up, but it must have. So there you go. Somehow you think that I would start attacking their children because of some kind of discrepancy I find between the classes, because everything to you is class warfare. Everything to you is the rich and the poor. There are no Americans versus the people who want to kill us for whatever reason. No, it's the rich and the poor, and you would rather take this threat of Islamic terror and change it into some kind of class warfare. That you and the rest of the anti-bourgeoisie are all on the right side. Well, go fuck yourself and fuck your mother's cunt. That's right, her hairy, stinking cunt. I hope you fuck her good tonight, because if you don't keep her happy, she may not let you out of the house again. Do you live in your parents' basement? Better yet, when you open your eyes, are you just surrounded by sand?
Yes, you know who else likes Hitler? Prescott Bush was a Nazi bankrupt fundraiser trying to do a coup in the USA during World War II. The Cheney's read Mein Kampf. It looked like you guys were fooled by the fascist. American. Oh, and he says American. Do we have to answer this? No, of course not. Stupidity. Onward and forward, to forever, into the light and out of the darkness, into the open exchange of ideas and of opinions, and to the death of stupidity. Okay. Why don't you eat a 5.56 round? That'll be helpful. They hate us because of our freedom. LOL! LOL! First, any of you actually know what the definition of freedom? Methinks not. Jokes of life, the whole lot of you. Ooh, he's got some nice definition of freedom for you. Oh, Jesus. Has that lefty site with the big words told you something about freedom? You have the capability to think for yourself? Why do you name the site where you get your info from? I'll tell you where I get mine from. Frontpagemagazine.com, Little Green Footballs, the filter. That's right, Little Green Footballs. What they do is they filter out all the reports from Arabic countries into English. All they do is a filter. They're just reporting to you what they say in their home countries. It's not an opinion piece. Jihad Watch by Robert Spencer, another great site. Which, by the way, CARE, Council on Islamic whatever relations, unindicted co-conspirators tried to shut down. And they were pretty much told to go fuck themselves. Alright, so because I got angry at this jihad apologist, he calls me just angry and useless. You see, the right has to manipulate your emotional condition rather than convince you with an argument. This motherfucker is still talking about arguments. This defender of jihadism and of death is talking about reason and arguments. You do not have reason on your side. Really? Did you learn that from arguing with Cropperby, the great man of reason, that you don't have any? Do you think you can just throw the word reason out there as somehow you're correct? How do you you just use this word reason? Well, I have reason. Says who? Prove it. That's the point of reason. You're supposed to prove how you are correct and we are wrong. You haven't done that. All you've said is that we don't have reason and that you are correct and we are wrong. You're doing exactly what you accuse us of doing. Make a person fearful and angry enough at something they do not understand, and we can get the paranoid population to go to war in Iraq! Exclamation point. When Saudis in Afghanistan attacked you. That's right. That's right. This old gag. I'm going to go through this argument again. I would love if one of you actually had a real argument to rebuke me. Thanks for the validation. You haven't made any argument. You've babbled on and on about social justice, about how they have a right to attack us because we have prostitution and fucking movies. Why don't you run back, this is my response, why don't you run back to your lefty site where you get your info from and ask them why they hate the United States, ask them for fancy words that will prove that the U.S. not only deserved the attacks on 9/11, but probably didn't learn its lesson and could use a nice bombing. notloz2. Well, I know Muslims, this is notloz2, notloz2, what a shithead. You know, I think you're a cunt. I think your mother's mother is a cunt. I think your mother's 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 mother is a cunt from a long line of prostituting cunts who have given nothing to society but cocksucking and bloodletting. You come from a long line of whores, okay? It's in your blood. It's disturbing your mental way of thinking. You're inbred, and you're from a long line of AIDS-infested Johns that your great-great-grandmothers and your entire ancestry has had to roll through. And that is why you cannot think clearly. It's because you're all whores. That's right. They were all whores. I'm sorry. That is your lineage. And that is where you will go when you die. On top of your grave it will say, notloz2, great-grandson from the long line of man's oldest profession. And here he says, well, I know Muslims are not, listen to this, well, I know Muslims are not fond of booze and prostitution and porn, etc. You can see advertisements for both every day on American TV. Yes, they do not like some things about us, about our U.S. That is because we're not perfect, as if there's something wrong with porn and booze. I'm not going to take the argument that 9/11 happened because they hate our freedoms. That's just doublespeak that has been fed to you to consume. I have to ask you, when you say that they don't like us about porn and they don't like our prostitution, they don't like our booze, isn't that freedom in definition? Yeah, you are free to drink in this country. You are free to watch pornography in this country if you so choose. You are free to watch advertisements on television, and frankly, you should be allowed to use prostitution. It happens to be against the law. I don't think it should be. It's nobody's fucking business. She wants to fuck you. You want to fuck her. You want to pay her to fuck you. Who give a shit? It's a legal acquisition. Who gives a fuck? It's not legal. All right. So, meanwhile, you say you don't believe that they attacked us for our freedoms, but somehow you believe they attacked us for us liking booze and porn. First of all, as if that's a good enough reason to attack anyone. Well, they like booze or they don't like booze or porn or prostitution, and they have advertisements on TV. They're imperfect. Bombs away! It's fucking insane. Isn't that... You just contradicted yourself. Well, I'll repeat it again. Well, I know Muslims are not fond of booze and prostitution, porn, etc. You can see advertisements for both every day on American TV. Yes, they do not like some of the things about our U.S. Or is that our us? And you misspelled it. That's because we're not perfect. I'm not going to take that argument that 9/11 happened because they hate our freedoms. That's just doublespeak that has been fed to you to consume. Isn't all the things you've mentioned, which don't they fall under the list of freedoms of things you can do in this country? You can legally watch pornography if you want to. Can you not? You can drink if you want to, can you not? And yet you don't think that they attacked us for our freedoms. Yet you say that they don't like things about us, like booze and pornography. That's a double misspeak to me. But, that's just me. What do I know? You're not an American. This is where I figured out that he's not an American. So who really gives a fuck with this animal, this savage apologist, this democrat? Who gives a shit what he wants? Well, don't you slip into a bowl. Hope this isn't a double post. So you're not an American, eh? Well, I hope you slip into a bowl of testicular cancer and die. I don't care about your homicidal, pro-genocide, I hate America bullshit. Strap a bomb vest on yourself and go to your inbred third world family reunion and pull the string. Could you do that for me? What third world country do you live in? He happens to live in Canada. That's a Canadian. Ho ho. Ooh. Ah. Oh. The do-nothing country. What do you do? Ah, here he goes. I just schooled the crap out of you. Anyone who reads below will agree. Yeah, sure you did. Okay, this is where he misunderstands history and somehow it totally ignores history as is. Thinks he can invent his own. Or he talks about the Christian wars against the Islamists. Then he accuses me of doublespeak and he calls me a fascist. Really? I speak in doublespeak? I repeat shit that's fed to me? So because we in America have the freedom to drink and watch beautiful women fuck, we should die because they don't like it. This is reason. This comes from a man of reason, by the way. Reason. I can reasonably get killed by terrorists in this man's world. Why am I arguing with this tool who claims to be a man of reason? See, this is where I stop arguing and just start yelling at him and telling him that I hope he gets fucked in the ass by a homeless man with AIDS. Holy crap,